Today's left thrives on declaring their enemies evil. But us, we mock, we ridicule, we call people dumb, lazy, fat, wrong. But not demons, not Hitler. That's the left's game. Because once you decide your opponent is Hitler, then anything goes. Violence becomes justified. And then when some mentally ill kid takes their cue, you guys just shrug, well, it's both sides. No. The bombs under Fox News trucks, the ICE raid protests, the vandalized memorials, the bullets etched with anti-ICE, it's all coming from one direction. And the pattern is real. Screwed up loners get pointed at the approved enemies. So what is it about the left's reflex to say both sides following a murder? It's a rationalization to protect you from realizing you might be wrong. It arises from that pit in your stomach where the guilt resides. Saying both sides shields your ego. And you got to wonder, why do surveys show that Charlie's murder was justified to so many young Democrats? Because he's conservative, Christian? If that's the case, then anybody with that label is marked for death. That, my friends, is brainwash. So don't give me both sides. There's one side that screams Nazi and shrugs when violence follows, and there's the other side who's ducking and hoping they miss.
Well, hello, kiddies. It's your friendly neighborhood watchman, here with you today to talk about some despicable leftist douchebag angry soy boy wannabe girl. Yep, we're dealing with another hate-filled trans who went off on a hate-filled rant when Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Just one hair on Charlie's head has more character and decency than that cow. So without further ado, let's do this shit. Without further ado, let's do this shit! So we'll read into this article here from the New York Post, with the byline by Patrick Riley with the heading, Trans Author Loses Major DC Comics Deal After Spewing Hateful Comments About Charlie Kirk's Assassination. I really hope we could use that word on here. I see other people saying unalive and whatnot. You know, give me a break, huh? I mean, as long as you're not using those words to incite violence, it shouldn't be a detriment to your video.
Stay on target.
A hate-filled transgender author has lost a lucrative deal,
surprise, motherfucker,
with DC Comics after celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Saying his, we're not playing that game here.
You got that right.
Okay? That dude, that mentally ill dude, can't change his DNA. A hate-filled transgender author has lost a lucrative deal with DC Comics after celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk, saying his only worry was for the well-being of the sniper's bullet that killed him. And here's that perfect specimen of leftist, tolerant, inclusive humanity.
Extend your middle finger.
Gretchen, fucker. Oops. my bad. Felker Martin, who previously wrote a fantasy about J.K. Rowling burning to death. See what I say? He's a noble champion of humanity.
As if.
He's all that's decent in mankind.
I don't think so.
Lost a new deal soon after his vile take on Kirk's assassination last Wednesday. Thoughts and prayers, you Nazi bitch. The fat cow Felker Martin had posted about the slain dad of two. And yeah, I'll body shame this mother after the crap, the vile poison he spews. Hope the bullet's okay after touching Charlie. DC Comics had only published the first in Felker Martin's Red Hood series, offering retailers a credit for unsold copies, which should be many, while canceling all orders for upcoming comics. Cosmic Book News reported. The comics giant told Popverse that it affirms the right to peaceful individual expression of personal viewpoints, but posts or public comments that can be viewed as promoting hostility or violence are inconsistent with DC's standards of conduct, which this pig has violated. Felker Martin, who also stated his desire to see Harry Potter author Rowling's neck slit over her positions on transgender women. You see how nasty? Let's talk about murder. Doubled down after losing his cosmic deal. You gotta stop feeding into this mental illness by enabling it, by humoring them. It's not a her, it's a him. Saying that he found it too irresistible not to make what he waved off as just a, quote, glib joke, end quote. Yeah, because murder, it's hilarious. Here's a quote from him. Get ready.
Here we go.
I had spent years smelling traces of the poison fumes that was most likely your farts.
You got that right.
Woo! Kirk left in his wake, seeing his sneering face, his mouth full of teeth like baby corns and gums like congealed aspic, he wrote in an essay posted to his Patreon. So, yeah, you talk about body shaming or trying to make fun of someone's looks. I mean, really? This guy must not own a mirror. You could try and show off your disgusting man boobs all you want. You're a fat dude. A better boy.
Daddy, chill.
Imaginary cosplaying as a woman. As an ugly fat woman. That's all you are.
Oh, that's cold.
Mentally ill fat boy continues. I stand by the sentiment of what I said. Kirk was evil. This is the guy who talks about how he wishes people were murdered, slit throats and everything. He can no longer hurt us, even if his cruelty will linger like a bad smell for decades to come. He continued, how about washing your fat ass once in a while? Because that's what you're smelling.
Damn!
He added that he only regrets that he didn't take that cruelty more seriously when people were ready to discuss it, to unpack how violence is done and at whose behest, whatever the fuck that means.
He ain't lying.
She wannabe Folka Martin previously came under fire in 2022 for writing a horror novel in which Rowling, who has openly criticized allowing transgender women in female-only spaces, is burned alive in her home.
What the fuck?
Add this guy wanting someone to be burned alive also to his murderous rhetoric. Now this is what pisses me off, because he goes on Charlie Kirk, calling him names, yet he talks in a vile manner and about wishing people violent and painful deaths, be it authors he don't like Rowling, or Christian conservatives like Charlie Kirk. Anyone that dare has a contrary view, psycho-trans. Okay, he tries to play the noble one, which is ridiculous. You have no moral high ground. People can see that just by the way you're talking. Because neither Rowling or Charlie Kirk will speak that way to people attacking them. They both are witty and have acerbic tongues, but without wishing them death. I guarantee you cannot find Charlie Kirk or J.K. Rowling wishing their attacker to have their throat sliced from ear to ear or have them burned alive in their homes, and making sarcastic, cruel comments about an assassin's bullet. That's all on this weak, fat, delusional slob who tries to poke fun at Charlie. Charlie had a beautiful wife, dude, and kids. Everything you don't have. He had it a lot better than you ever will. That's this piece of shit comic. In 2023, he called out several writers he said were transphobic, including Rowling, and posted in a since-deleted tweet, of course, if they all have one throat, man, you wouldn't do shit, pussy.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
Kirk was shot dead last week in front of thousands of spectators while speaking at a campus event at Utah State University. Student Tyler Robinson, who has a transgender boyfriend, no surprise, one of those nut jobs would be in the mix somehow, was taken into custody last Friday and is facing murder charges. So what goes along with this article is another one, folks. From Random Pulse, with the byline by John F. Trent. Go support Random Pulse if you can, as John F. was a favorite writer from bounding into comics, has slowly begun to bend the knee to the left of harsh, no-nonsense criticisms of leftist ideology and wokeness. But I digress. So John F. Trent with the title Roxane Gay, David Brothers, and more people I don't even know, outraged that DC Comics canceled Red Hood after trans writer cheered Charlie Kirk's assassination.
You're a worthless piece of shit!
Yeah, not outraged that Charlie Kirk was killed. No, of course not. These people have never been in the comic book industry back when I was growing up. Never could have got their foot in the door. Marvel Comics writer Roxane Gay, that must be her. If it is a her, I mean nowadays I don't even know. Nowadays you don't know. If you don't know their background. Former Kotaku writer David Brothers and more expressed outrage that DC Comics canceled its Red Hood series after the book's writer defamed Charlie Kirk immediately after his assassination. The man who wrote the series pretends to be a woman and uses the name Gretchen, don't say it, Felker Martin. He posted immediately after the assassination, "Thoughts and prayers, you Nazi." Yeah, we won't go through this again. You see how the writer, unlike the New York Post, doesn't play the pronoun game? Calls it how it is. The man who wrote, not woman, and said the pronoun he, not she, unlike the New York Post. And that's the tweet, which we went over in the previous article. Don't want to repeat myself, nor this idiot's comments. DC Comics canceled the Red Hood book. And I guess that's official. After the book was canceled, Gay took to Blue Sky, the social media leftist nut house, should change the name to Blue Asylum,
Voices!
and expressed her outrage. Not at Charlie Kirk being killed, no. By an assassin's bullet, nope. Instead, quote, "It's an absolute shame that DC fired Gretchen Fatboy Martin for exercising free speech, and then Blue Sky suspended his account. Every writer here should be decrying this, because we have to stand up for each other. This is ridiculous," end quote.
Whatever.
It has nothing to do with free speech. He has free speech. He said it. But he doesn't have consequences from that speech.
We are so smart!
DC is a private company, and they could have fired his ass, let alone just canceled his shitty series.
He ain't lying.
But don't let the facts get in your way, Roxanne. In response to this, former editor of the Tor Nightfire books, Emily C. Hughes, wrote, "It's so disgusting. Cowardly, quizzical behavior from both DC and Blue Sky leadership." Gay replied, "It's unacceptable, and they will keep tightening the noose of free speech until everyone is silent." Again, no decrying the violence, the death of Charlie Kirk. Graphic Policy radio host Elena Levin also responded to Gay's post. "Thank you for speaking up. I'm also trying to get James Gunn's attention because he went through a similar arc himself, and a statement of solidarity from him for an unfairly fired trans DC creator could go a long way. Keep wishing." Illustrator Yul R. Espinoza also wrote, "I absolutely agree with this. I think what DC Comics did is appalling. Gretchen Fatboy Martin should be allowed to continue his writing on Red Hood. Blue Sky Asylum, why suspend his account?"
Time to dance!
Charlie Kirk was a hateful piece of work. Prove it. Or the hate I see is coming from you people. We've all made comments about him in one form or another. What does that mean? An excuse? That excuses your behavior? Reinstate him. No. The Small Press and Features editor for Woman Right Comics, Kat Overland, also posted, "Thank you for speaking up. More unhinged rants for support for Gretchen Fatboy Martin." So we reached the end of this video, folks. And as we usually do, when we have time and opportunity presents itself, we'll go over a few reader comments. Starting with Cyborg Justice, who says, "These people are heartless goblins," thus putting it euphemistically. They're basically saying it's okay to cheer for murder. Exactly what I was saying.
Do you want a biscuit?
Next up is from SK, who says, someone let the libs know we're not taking it anymore. Our patients died with Charlie.
Damn right.
Brother, you got that right. I mean, again, it's just outrageous how the way that dude was talking and then tries to flip it and say, oh, Charlie was so hateful and this and that. And yet it's him all this hate's coming from. They just can't deal with facts. Their feelings trump facts. Like there's only two sexes. And no matter how hard you wish, you can't turn from being a male into a biological female. End of discussion, retard.
You ain't lying.
Last but not least, we have Codex Redux. What we and DC should believe them when they say they're all as bad as the monstrous Baphomet writer. Useful to know. Fire them all. I'd make an exception for those among them who took a stand for freedom of speech for comics. Comicsgate, hashtag Clotshot Mandate protesters. Orson, Scott Card, Vox Day, and Chuck Dixon. That'll be gracious. Yep, Chuck Dixon, fan favorite. Unless you happen to be a loony-ass leftist.
Time to dance.
So kiddies, we've reached the end of the video. Shut up, kids. And if you agree with the articles presented here and my comments, then hit that like button. Smash it, grab it, lick it, kiss it, caress it, smack it, whack it, attack it. And subscribe if you haven't already. It's free. And for shame if you haven't.
Shame. Shame.
And tap that notification bell so that you'll always be forewarned for whenever I'm about ready to drop another video. And as always, stay safe and I bid you peace.